You don't need anything to feel worthy, to feel whole, to feel complete, to be powerful, to make a difference in this world. You just need to be more you. Welcome to the Real on Manifestation podcast. This podcast bridges the gap between mystical and practical, making manifestation real, accessible, and achievable so you are an embodied, energetic match to actualize everything you desire. I'm Minerva, your manifestation coach and host, and I've manifested every single thing I have ever wanted. From dream homes, new levels of income, trips, clients, businesses, TV gigs, relationships, as well as winning jackpots and contests. But it's not about the tangible manifestations for me. It's about how you feel and who you be on the way to there. With 3 businesses, 2 kids, and marriage to my childhood sweetheart, one of my proudest manifestations is feeling balanced, spacious, and free in my ever-expanding reality. Creating and maintaining your dream life doesn't have to take force, but ease, and I'm excited to guide you through yours. In this space, you'll receive expert insights and proven tools and strategies you can apply immediately to start manifesting everything you ever want. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of The Real on Manifestation. This week, I'm going to help you step into your power more so that you stop waiting and start creating. We often are waiting for outside things to give us permission before we can move forward. We wait for the family approval, the family support, wait for the next client, for the next dollar to prove something to ourselves, to give ourselves permission to move forward, to be ourselves, to feel successful. And that's all going to stop today. So no more waiting. We're going to do more creating. So what do you need to do in order to receive more? The answer is you don't need to do anything more. The only thing you need to do more of is show up more in your power. You need to show up more you. We think that if we do more, we finish the website, we get a certain amount of posts out, we finish the certification, we get the 3 clients, we get 6 people in our programs, then we have made it. Then we would feel successful. Then we would feel like it has paid off. And we feel like our results are tied directly to our efforts. That if we do more, we'll receive more. That if we do more, then we're going to be worthy of receiving more. But that's an entanglement that I want to detangle for you today. You don't need to do anything more because you are already a proactive, determined, ambitious, hardworking woman, entrepreneur, being. And you, up until this point, have been confined in the belief that results is tied to how much you do. And on some level, you know you don't need to do that much, but even though you know it on some level, on the energetic, spiritual, philosophical level, that you need to receive and open up and surrender and be more to receive more, you know that on some level, but it's like this little faint voice or glimpse of light in the background that you're not fanning. You're not allowing that flame to just light up because you're way more conditioned into believing and tying your identity to doing. Your worthiness is tied to doing. Your results is tied to doing. Your ability to receive is tied to doing. And that's all a lie. You do not need to do more. You need to show up more. You do not need to do more. You need to show up more. What do I mean by show up more? Show up more in your light. What lights you up? What expands you? What makes time go by so easily, effortlessly? What feels easy? What feels like flow? Show up in your gifts. Show up in your genius. Show up in those moments or doing those things that light you up. Show up and share what lights you up. That thing that has transformed your life, that awareness that you have gained, those breakthroughs that you've had, those biggest transformations that you have. They were all preparing you for what you're here for and what you're here to do. And in those pockets, in those moments, those glimmers need to start being the beaming light and not just glimmers and moments in your life. They're no longer moments. They should be your life, your everyday life. And so you don't need to do more. You need to show up more in that power, in that space. You need to give yourself permission. You need to feel brave. You need to be courageous. You don't need to do anything more. As I said last week in my episode, you don't need confidence to do anything. You really don't. Confidence is gained by doing, is what most people say. I say it's by choosing, but I say it comes from being courageous. So it's about being brave enough, bold enough, courageous enough, forgiving enough, loving enough, accepting of yourself to step into your light, to step in to your power, that force within you that feels unstoppable, that feels like peace, that feels like speed, that feels like you can do anything and create anything. That vision, that desire, that fire in you. It might be a flicker, it may be a spark right now, but you need to start fanning that flame in order for it to be full on fire, fueling you, moving you, inspiring you, leading you. So, too often, we retract, we dim our light, we pull away, we produce things. And I've done this so many times where I've created huge things in my life and even small things. But every time I was most me, every time I was fully in my light, fully in my power. I remember when I was a dancer, when I was a Raptors dancer, when I was a choreographer, when I was dancing on stage, when I was dancing on tour, even when I switched into spiritual life coaching, even how I plan my wedding, how I plan my baby shower, all of those things were all expressions of my light, of being in my light. And let me tell you, there is not one scenario where someone didn't say, "Why did you do that? You shouldn't do that." Someone said it. There was not one instance where I did not go by 3 of those things. I had people say, "Why don't you model? Don't be a dancer. Choose something practical. Oh, you changed careers again? Is this really sustainable? Is this what you're really gonna do for the rest of your life? Oh, you're gonna charge that? Are you sure you wanna do that? Maybe you should charge a little less." All those things are just all representations of maybe you should just turn the lights down low. Now I know everyone's thinking of the song, "Turn the lights down low." I just was just thinking that. Love that song. But think about it, all the times a family member, a friend, a colleague, someone who didn't know you, or even someone online or the comments just take exactly what they took and replace it with the words, "Can you just dim the lights down a bit? It's a little too bright in here. You're a little too bright." So anytime someone told you, "No, it's too much, do something else. You're not being practical. You're not being realistic." They question you. They shame you. They judge you. They mock you. "Oh, you really gonna do a business now? Who do you think you are? Oh, you're showing off?" Showing off is just showing up. Showing off is just showing what's possible. So all of those times that you experience contrast in this reality where someone said no, where someone questioned you, where someone dimmed you, just replace that and allow that to be your signal with they were telling you to dim your light, but allow that to be your signal to shine it even more, to turn that dimmer up all the way up. Blast the lights in the room. That's your sign. That's your signal. That's your point of power. That's where you need to be. And that's what I mean by showing up. Am I saying right now is show up full frontal, bearing your body, bearing your soul, bearing your light. Full frontal, I know it means you're naked on a beach. But by the way, one time I was topless in Dominican, and it was actually the most freeing thing. It was in like I didn't go into a nude. People were nude, but I didn't. And I kind of kept my eyes to myself. But I just have to say, if you've never tried it, do it in your backyard or something. There's something freeing about that. Or just imagine it. Like I can imagine. I wish I can go back to that. But no clothes, bearing your heart, bearing your soul, bearing your body. And not in a way where you're not valuing and honoring yourself. This is like bearing your body, your light, your soul. And I think about full frontal, I'm facing forward, I'm naked. There are no restrictions, there are no costumes, there are no masks, there are no nothing blocking me from me, my body, my power, my purpose. Facing forward. My mind is clear, my thoughts are forward moving. My words speak things into existence. They are supportive. They are serving me, they're serving others, they're inspiring people. My expressions are coming to life, my manifestations are coming to life. I express, I speak things into existence, like I said. My heart is wide and open. I'm facing forward. I'm receiving. I am giving. There are no restrictions. There are no wounds. There are no pains. I released all of that. That's all in the past. That's behind me. My heart is open. My power is open. My power is activated. It is my solar plexus, my sacral. It is beaming. It is booming. It is flowing. It is forward moving. It's pulling me forward. I'm fully exposed in my power and my light, and I feel comfortable in that space. And in fact, this is the safest place to be. This is the most comfortable place to be because this is who I am. This is who I know. This is what I know. I know me. And that's the safest place to be. And I'm moving forward. My toes, my feet are facing forward. I'm moving forward. That's what it means to be full frontal. Bearing my heart, bearing my soul, owning my gifts, coming from my power, activated in my power, activated in my knowing, activated in my worthiness. Being who God put me on this earth to be. I am planted in my purpose. I am grounded. I am safe and secure. I am held by the earth. I am held by Father Sky. I am held by God's source, higher creator, higher consciousness. And I am moving forward. So together with me, connected into my source, my power source within me and outside of me, God's source, creator, higher power, whatever that connect is for you, what created you lives in you. And bearing your heart, your soul, your arms wide open and moving forward from that full bodied activated space. That's what you need to do more of. You don't need to do all the things that you told yourself you need to do. Those are either distractions, details, or things that come after you being activated and grounded in your power. Energy first, action second, strategy second. When you come from your power, the ideas come, the words flow. When you're activated in your body, you're connected to your power. You are then pulled, you are inspired, you are drawn to do. That's where inspired action comes from. It doesn't come from the head. It doesn't come from strategy. It doesn't come from doing first. It comes from your power. Inspired action comes from being activated in your power. So those things come after your power. So allow yourself to show up first. That's the first step, is show up in your power, activated in your power. This week in the Manifest Vortex, my membership led everyone into stepping in to their new identity and feeling activated and embodied in that space so that when a news article shows up or when they go to a family gathering and they're triggered, when business is not going how they want it to be, these outside sources and influences can easily pull us out of it. But last week's call, we were activated. We were anchored into that space that after the call, everyone said, this was so on point. This is what I needed. And they went and they did it in their everyday lives. They're like, I'm actually happy to go to my next family gathering. Someone messaged and said, I read something on the news and it really normally would trigger me, but I was in my power. It did not have the effect it had on me before. And that is the practice, that embodiment of being in your power. And it takes practice, it takes time. That's what the Manifest Vortex is about, where I help you anchor into that space and give you weekly energetic embodiment upgrades and exercises to support you through that. So right now, if you want to get into that, 50% off, or you can join just for the live group call for just $30, limited time only. So I'll leave the link below and all the details there and you can join. But today I wanted to remind you that the only doing you need to do is show up more in your power, show up more in your being, show up more you. That is your power. That is your magic. That is what's going to create. You're not going to have to wait for what it is you want when you're coming from your power because you are coming from within you. You have everything already within you, and everything is then just matching you. So you don't need the family validation. You don't need people to support you. You don't need the positive comments. You don't need the algorithm. You don't need anything to feel worthy, to feel whole, to feel complete, to be powerful, to make a difference in this world. You just need to be more you. And sometimes we need help and reminders to be more of ourselves. And that's what my membership is about. So I would get into that. And if you haven't heard, I have a live in-person 1-day retreat happening in Pickering, Ontario called Live Your Light. This is a full day where we're going to do a full body clearing, activating, anchoring, embodiment of feeling truly safe, comfortable, and alchemized in your power. Training your body to feel safe in your power because we know what happens, right? We can feel rocked to our core when you get that bad feedback, when things are not how you want it to be in your business, in your income, in your relationships. All of those external things can pull on our power. It's like this puppeteer, the puppeteer of our power. We give that to everyone else and everything else outside of us. That becomes the puppeteer to our power. So we're going to cut all of that and allow you to be free of that so that you are connected and activated and in charge of your power. You are the source of your power. And the source that created you lives inside of you. And when you activate that, you are unstoppable. So I hope you will join us for both or one, or I hope you just enjoyed this episode. I love you all so much. I love this episode. I love you. And I'll see you next time.